Welcome back to the show. Remember when we talked about the Fed being shut out of the new on-chain economy? Well, guess what? Somebody else is saying it. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.88 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 3.1% at the moment. Right now, we see Bitcoin 110,200 plus, Ethereum 4,300 plus, XRP's $2.88. It's a blue light special on aisle X, and Mrs. Backup is in the house. I'm pretty sure she could probably hear me right now. Oh, she is. She can hear me. I can hear. I don't know if you caught that, but yeah, she can hear me in the background. I may be getting more XRPs to file the papers. That's all I can tell you. We're off 4.3 on the 24. We're up 2.5 on the 7-day. It's just the way it goes sometimes here. We're ranging between 285 and 302. 289 is looking good to me. Oh my gosh. Super sexy XRP looking this morning. Yeah, blue light special on ILX. Let's get started right here. Be careful out here, ladies and gentlemen. James Rule XRP does a lot of advocacy work for people who have been hacked. He knows a lot about it. He just got hacked and then got his page back. Shout out to him for all he does for everyone. But he's sharing here how this is a financial scam mixed with a romance scam. And the fraudster starts by developing a relationship with the person, then proposes an investment opportunity after they've built that trust, and then usually in the form of cryptocurrency that seems too good to pass up. Well, if it's too good to be true, it usually is, right? So make sure you write that one down. But listen, be careful. And this is why I tell you, since I've been in crypto, I've never kept my assets in all in one place. But where do I keep my assets? Well, this is one place we're going to talk about today. It's Caleb and Brown. And we just had Jim Bazzani from Caleb and Brown come visit the DPMG group. And it was a wonderful conversation. Shout out to you, Jim, and everybody at Caleb and Brown for coming and visit. You know, no more worrying if I've been hacked. No more worrying if my transfer went through or if I set my market orders correctly. This is a big deal. Listen, what they do here is deliver a personal touch service. And that is exactly what it feels like when you work with them. You know, you're not going into an email queue for 6 weeks or anything like that. You're not speaking to an AI bot. You're talking to real people, and it is an absolute game changer. So you should try it out for yourself. We've got it set up, DAI and myself, for you to open your free account. Go to XRPWealth589.com, XRPWealth589.com, and get your account open today. You're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. No question about it. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Well, first of all, I see I fat fingered evidence wrong, and that'll be good for them. So let me fix that while we're talking, right? There we go. Oh boy, just listen. Gary Cardone is at it again.
Tulip mania. I will remind everyone.
Oh boy.
Okay? Don't listen to that bullshit story. All you hear is the tulips. The entire flower market in the world still transacts through the Netherlands.
Correct.
Bitcoin is the platform.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys talking about? I don't care if XRP crashes. Okay, that's the tulip. There's a platform of flowers.
You could see the look on the gentleman's face interviewing him. Was like, well, wait, I think this is where you've lost me. But he still plays the game.
That are traded around the world, and it all happens in tulip land. Like, that's a big deal, man. But what do you hear? Oh, tulip crash. What do you mean tulip crash, dude? All the flowers still trade through there, okay?
The one-time tulip crash, by the way.
There was a tulip crash. He says, I don't care if XRP crashes. That's the tulip. Listen, you know, I've interviewed Gary on my channel here. And the thing is I like Gary. Like, I mean, I know Gary's like completely out of line. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a camera whore. He loves sitting in front of a camera. And regardless the cost of his own integrity, this is clear evidence, ladies and gentlemen, clear evidence that you don't have to be smart to be rich. This won't age well. Don't be like Gary. Oh, It's amazing. And then look at this. This is not happening on the Bitcoin network. It's Braza Bank completed $1 billion of stablecoin payments for their customers using BBRL on the XRP ledger in Q3. Have line of sight to a euro-denominated stablecoin doing similar numbers pretty soon. Narrative comes and go, but we're solving real problems for financial institutions. And that is what Gary is lost on. He's lost on the notion of understanding that he's afforded the luxury to run his mouth because we're in a speculative market. So go ahead and run it, Gary, because it won't be long. You're going to look like a simpleton that we all can see that you are, right? And you know what? And you've worked hard for that label. So that's not me name calling. I'm just putting a label on what your actions have described, which is the actions of a simpleton, right? And you're welcome to come on my show anytime and debate me on the matter. It won't take long. Here's Jack McDonald, Senior VP of RLUSD, going, hey, everyone, we've done something that Tether doesn't do. We released clear data of what's going on with Real USD. Monthly independent attestation is now live. Here's some highlights. Real USD crossed $650 million in market cap. Real USD minted on the XRP ledger was part of the very first IPO proceeds payments in stablecoins from Bullish. Aave's Horizon platform allows users to post U.S. treasuries and institutional funds as collateral to borrow stablecoins, which now includes Real USD, unlocking new liquidity. And Real USD coming to Japan early next year through Ripple and SBI official partnership. Q3 showing no signs of slowing down. You can check out all the previous reports at the link. And here is the actual printout here of the attestation as well, just to show you. So things are moving in the right direction, obviously. And I want to show this too, because apparently somebody needs to show this to Gary Cardone as well. You know, remember, Ripple bought Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, and they settle $3 trillion a year on their own. They will be doing that now with the Real USD on the XRP ledger, and in some instances, XRP will certainly play a role. Now, what's interesting about this is that Gary Cardone probably doesn't realize this. So this is why not too long from now, he's going to look like a smacked ass, not to mention the fact that the Hidden Road has also gotten license approval from the DTCC, which settles over 1.2 or 2 quadrillion a year, depending on the reports that you look at. So big things are coming. Take a listen.
The acquisition of Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, which, you know, is one of the largest deals ever in the digital asset space, and really makes Ripple the first crypto company to own a prime broker. And, you know, I think it's something that we're particularly excited about from that perspective. And, you know, this actually starts to bring to life the promise of you know, bridging the gap between crypto and institutional customers at scale. And Hidden Road, you know, will have Hidden Road has clearing and cross-margin capabilities. We have a unified platform that offers digital asset infrastructure from end to end, both in fiat and crypto, and will enable the management of risk more efficiently and access of deep liquidity. And this really is a, you know, foundational step forward in enabling real-world utility for RLUSD and further establishing XRPLedger as the blockchain of choice for institutional DeFi.
There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Well said by Cassie Craddock. Shout out to the whole Ripple team there, Jazzy Cooper and Jack McDonald. This is where we're going. Like I said, the luxury to run their mouths is afforded to them because we're still in a speculative market. So have at it, guys. Have at it. Here we are. U.S. Treasuries just bought back another $1.4 billion of its own debt, now totaling $7.4. We covered it yesterday. As I said, the bond market is the backbone of any monetary system, so we're going to need to tokenize that and get it on chain. We are getting the Clarity Act signed and passed into law, just like the Genius Act. Why? This isn't about making us rich. The U.S. government needs the Clarity Act passed into law in order to issue bonds to private stablecoin issuers. The market infrastructure play is needed, right? Make no mistake, this is for them, not us. That's why we just get to get rich in spite of them, and they don't have time to care. It is mission critical for the U.S. dollar. I really do believe that. And here's a conversation here with Charles Hoskinson from Cardano. Now, we've covered the fact that he talked about that they went to a Federal Reserve roundtable meeting with Brad Garlinghouse, but he goes further in this clip and talks about how the Fed is sitting in the meeting going, hey, what about us? Where have you heard that before? Take a listen.
So I was just at a roundtable with the Federal Reserve. It was a really nice inter-industry. So two of the reserve governors were there. And I was actually with Anatoly from Solana and Sergey from Chainlink and Ilya from Near and Brad from XRP. So it was a very nice roundtable. And we had a chance to directly interact with the Federal Reserve. And the Fed is trying to figure out, what is their role, place, and purpose with the Genius Act? Because traditionally, the Fed is the payment regulator. And they've been doing that for 120 years, give or take. The thing about the Fed is that they were kind of left out of the party. There's three primary regulatory bodies that deal with this. There's the OCC, the FDIC, and the Federal Reserve. The reason this is relevant is that stablecoins live in two worlds at the same time. One, they live in the Web3 world, so they're tokenized. And we think a lot about, well, how do I get more liquidity and volume? There's over $250 billion worth of tokens that have been issued, 180 plus million transactions every month. It's a very dense, beautiful, high velocity space. But those only have value because somebody's holding an asset on the other side. In the legacy world,
I got to give you that part again real quick here.
Is that stablecoins live in two worlds at the same time. One, they live in the Web3 world, so they're tokenized. And we think a lot about, well, how do I get more liquidity and volume? There's over $250 billion worth of tokens that have been issued, 180 plus million transactions every month. It's a very dense, beautiful, high velocity space. But those only have value because somebody's holding an asset on the other side in the legacy world.
Exactly. So what about the Fed?
The thing about the Fed is that they were kind of left out of the party.
He doesn't go on to get explicit about it, and I think for good reason, because this is what I say right here. Take a look here. This is the big, back July 29th, this is the big reason why I say Ripple could be the Federal Reserve 2.0. The Fed will be shut out of the new digital on-chain economy. Tom Emmer put forward, sponsors the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, shutting the door on the Fed, or the fact that Ripple's going for that National Trust Bank charter license and the Federal Reserve master account. Again, Ripple getting the national charter and a Federal Reserve master account. The Fed is shut out of the new digital on-chain economy because they can't release stablecoin or a US dollar. How does the Fed fit into the new digital on-chain economy? They don't. That's one of the reasons Jerome Powell hasn't been cooperative with President Trump about cutting the rates. There's the fight right there. And in the interim, we're watching U.S. tokenized treasury products reach a new all-time high of $7.45 billion on August 27th. Now, out of that $7.4 billion, Open Eden, working with Ripple and the XRP Ledger, $95 million. And Ondo has about a collective amount of 60 million tokenized. So that's where we're at right there, just under 200 billion, right? 200 million, excuse me. But nonetheless, it is happening. It is taking place. This is not going back the other way. Again, Ondo Finance, the backbone of any monetary system is the bond market. Always watch the bond market, and they're tokenizing it on the XRP Ledger and other chains. And then we saw this, where the Trump Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick announced that they will be working to put blockchain on or put government agencies on blockchain. And then they also talked about here where they want ownership in certain companies that are really tied to the hip with the federal government, like Palantir. And then I get it. They want partial ownership. I get that. Well, dimes to donuts, the U.S. government will want a piece of Ripple too. Can you say systemically important? Because I can. And then there's reminding everybody of this. Ripple's James Selleck is a Faster Payments Council member. What are we doing there? By the way, you can check. Bitcoin's not on there, right? It's just not on there. So, you have to say, you come back to this. So I asked Grok, if XRP is added to a strategic reserve stockpile, and obviously we know it's being used to tokenize US treasuries, right? Would it make the XRP ledger systemically important financial market infrastructure a SIFME? Well, it says this. If XRP were added to a strategic reserve stockpile alongside significant U.S. assets like oil and gold, which we absolutely confirmed on stage with the Honorable Cristiano Carlo, it would potentially increase the systemic importance of the XRP ledger in several ways. But this alone would not automatically make it systemically important. But then they talk about and break down why. But nonetheless, you see where this is going. This is not going back the other way. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. The price may be $289 today. And people like Gary Cardone may be able to run their mouth and try to say that we are like the tulip craze. But in a moment not too long from now, it won't age well for people like them, because you know what? There's a phrase by a famous philosopher named Eric Hoffer, God rest his soul. And he said this, the learners shall inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Meaning, those that are stuck in yesterday and think that they know it all are the ones that get left behind. It is the guy and the woman who are learners, that stay knowledgeable, that stay a student of the game, that will inherit the world, because they will be prepared and beautifully equipped for the world that is ever changing, because they never stop learning. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone. I hope you will join us, ladies and gentlemen. We got a good one today. Hidden files, hidden room in the Hoover building, and the FBI director. I hope you will join us. Click the link underneath the video and join us either on YouTube, Patreon, or on X. All the same price, same perks. You get all your daily videos with zero Google ads and extra content as well, which we're getting ready to get into right now. So come on in.